Y'all, so it looks like Azealia Banks just came out to expose DC Young Fly of being involved with the death of his baby mama, Miss Jacky Oh. And it looks like Azalea's beef with DC Young Fly is nowhere close to being over, because the tea she's trying to spill is wild, to say the least. Now, everybody knows that Azealia is as messy as they come, but this just might be the craziest thing that she's done in a long time. So did DC really force Jacky Oh to get surgery? Or is Azealia causing fake drama to get back at him for their little beef? Let's break it down. Y'all, so it's been 2 years since Jacky Oh's tragic passing, and why is Azealia now trying to bring it all back up? I mean, you'd think that if she had some real dirt, she would have brought it up when Jacky first passed, right? But y'all, when we all know is that Azealia has a long memory, and she also has a history of sitting on dirt until the moment of the maximum possible impact. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that she's doing this now. But if you've been following her drama with DC Young Fly, then you already know that this is not the first time that she has said something about Jacky Oh. A few hours after Jacky's passing, Azalea's vile self took to Instagram to make some posts that were very disturbing and very nasty. In the post, she claimed that Jacky Oh's passing was a result of karma because DC had mocked her in an episode of Wildin' Out and that he had hurt her feelings. As if. So in typical Azealia fashion, she wrote, DC Young Fly spent years disguising his own deeply rooted hatred of himself as jokes pointed at women's beauty, projecting his own feelings about his own ugliness onto women perfectly secure in their skin. Say what you want about my tears, they were pure tears of rage and not at all a sign of weakness, because in the end I won. I'm happy I cried and moved on. That Jacky Oh girl must have been so deeply insecure about herself. Y'all, speaking on the dead like that is absolutely crazy. And of course, Azealia being Azealia, she didn't stop at dragging up that old insult from Wildin' Out. She went all the way left and tied it to Jacky Oh's death. And according to her, DC's little jab from 5 years ago was the actual reason Jacky passed away. Talk about delusional. And then she hit everybody with this wild line. And ironically, dead at 32, exactly on my 32nd birthday, May 31st, 2023 in Miami, Florida. You guys are going to learn to stop effing with me. So if you've been paying attention to Azealia over the years, you already know that she called herself a witch, talking about spells, rituals, and all kinds of mystical evil energy. So when she said that, it wasn't just about her being petty, it was basically her hinting that she had something to do with it. In her world, Jacky's passing lining up with her own 32nd birthday wasn't a tragic coincidence. It was a cosmic payback. Now for context, this all goes back to 2018 when Azealia made an appearance on Wildin' Out. During her episode, she flopped and joined in on a segment called So Petty. Now if you're a fan of the show, you already know the game is all about roasting and going for the jugular with the jokes. Everybody's a target and nobody gets spared. And DC had to roast Nick Cannon, but instead of keeping the spotlight on Nick, he decided to flip it and drag Azealia in the process, which is very normal for the show because she and Nick were on the same team.
My boy Nick Cannon is so petty!
How petty is he?
He couldn't get Carter B, so he got Azealia.
And it's not like she just stood there and took it, because she tried to clap back at him in a snippet that I'm about to show you. Take a look.
But you have to enjoy your lap around the theater because you're not going to be booking any other work in any time. Enjoy Wildin' Out. You won't even make it to Dub Comedy Jam, honey.
But then DC took another shot at her and he pretty much ate her up.
Honey, this is the ceiling.
You need to
for
find
you.
your dentist. How do you take your goddamn braces off but you kept the little middle part? Stupid girl.
Well, Azealia was so salty over that she held a grudge for 5 years for him making her cry, so much that she publicly rejoiced when his partner passed. Now at the time, fans dragged her for filth, saying stuff like, Azealia Banks is sick. Speaking on somebody's deceased partner because you got your feelings hurt on a stage show 4 years ago is very low. Azealia Banks further proved why no one F's with her. That is vile and evil to say. How do you rejoice about someone's death because their comedian partner made you upset? Disgusting. And Azealia Banks is the scum of the earth and talks all this ish about everyone else, but the time she finally met her match, she couldn't take it and held a childish grudge for 5 years, to the point she's laughing at someone dying? Yeah, she evil. Well, Azealia then tried to defend herself, saying, I don't think anyone gets how much the press from that episode derailed the success of Anna Wintour. I came to sing my song and go home, and only at the request of my label. That thorn in my side is finally out. No way in hell I was blessed with this many gifts, this much talent, and beauty to be a cultural punching bag for a cast of peons who wouldn't have a pot to piss in if they didn't have a court of social media addicts to gesture for. I do this in real life, D-lookers. Now, if we thought that her first comment was wild, the next one was even wilder. She straight up claimed that DC was clowning her on Wild and Out was the reason for her single Anna Wintour flopping. Because in her mind, the one joke didn't just bruise her ego, it somehow ruined the entire rollout of her song. But fans weren't buying it, because maybe just the song was whack. And most people agreed, saying the track was failing for a much simpler reason. Nobody cared enough to stream it because of her messy history. And that's the thing with Azealia. She's built such a strong reputation of being messy and picking fights with people that are more interested in her drama than her music. And that image of being a bully has not just made her unpopular, it has dragged her whole career down. So she tried to point the finger at DC when it was not only about her being embarrassed on TV. In her mind, he was the one who tanked one of her biggest shots at a hit song. And honestly, that's some bull. But it even got worse. See, 2 years after Jacky Oh's passing, Azealia just popped up with some new tea that's somehow worse than what she said at the time. Like I said, Azealia has a long memory, and it looks like she has been letting her resentment fester because DC didn't respond at the time, but it looks like Azalea's new comments, he might have no choice but to reply because she made some really concerning claims. But you guys know that Jacky Oh passed away after a mommy makeover plastic surgery, right? Well, Azealia is now claiming that the reason Jacky Oh got the surgery in the first place was because DC forced Jacky to get the surgery because he allegedly wouldn't stop talking and complaining about her body. And y'all, Azealia didn't just come blowing smoke because she says she has receipts. In this one video, DC made some comments about Jacky after she gave birth to their children, and he said that her looked weird.
Your used to look like 6th grade
Really?
pizza. It used to look like middle school pizza. Middle school cafeteria pizza.
She then asked if he liked her the way they were, and he made it super obvious that he was kind of evading the question.
So you like them still though?
Huh?
Did you like them still?
My phone ringing. My phone ringing.
But there's also the fact that Jacky Oh herself revealed that some of her friends had warned her not to do the surgery, but she didn't listen to them.
I want to get my breasts done. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody told me, no, you're fine how you are. You're perfect. Leave me alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's my body. Guess what? My body. So I was like, no, I want to do it.
And according to Azealia, the reason Jacky didn't listen was because DC was putting a lot of pressure on her to change her body because he was no longer attracted to her. Well, Azealia also hinted that DC was allegedly threatening to cheat on Jacky, which was what finally forced her to do the surgery, even though everybody else had warned her not to. It's just really sad because this could have been avoided. After her passing, fans started pointing fingers at the doctor, Dr. Jacky Oh, in Miami. After her passing, a lot of details came out that made the whole situation look sketchy. It turned out this procedure wasn't just a regular surgery. Jacky and Dr. Jack were actually supposed to be collaborating, and the arrangement was that she would get the surgery done for free while promoting him on social media in return. But Dr. Jack even posted on Instagram with her writing, "Getting ready for my mommy makeover with Dr. Jack. Stay tuned to my YouTube for the full reveal." But unfortunately, things went sideways when she tragically lost her life. And it wasn't long before all eyes turned to Dr. Jack. The more people looked into him, the more red flags started popping up, and his reputation quickly took a hit. One of the first major things people noticed was that Dr. Jack wasn't exactly a board-certified doctor. He was what's called board eligible, and that basically means a physician has completed their residency in a specialty or a subspecialty but hasn't passed the official board exam yet, either because they haven't taken it or they failed it. And for most people, this raised serious questions about his credibility, whether he was fully or really qualified to perform those kinds of procedures. And things got even shadier when Dr. Jack suddenly deleted the collaborative Instagram post that he had shared with Jacky before the procedure. Naturally, people started speculating that it was an attempt to cover something up, and the rumors began to spread like wildfire. The situation had escalated even further when the police announced that they were opening an investigation into this case, turning what was already a messy story into a full-blown scandal.
Police tell us they and the medical examiner's office are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death and and the case is in its preliminary stages.
And the case was dropped after a while because it never really went anywhere. But the drama didn't end there. Dr. Zach released a statement on social media talking about his facilities and how they were clean and world-class and all that. He said, "To all my past, current, and prospective clients, PH1 Miami remains devoted to the highest quality medical care. All aesthetic procedures are performed in a hygienically safe environment to universally recognized medical standards. I am relentlessly committed to advancing techniques in the realm of plastic surgery." He continued, "Most importantly, my staff and I ensure that each patient is vetted, prepped, and treated according to their individual patient history prior to any surgery. Our mission is to help our students achieve the best possible results in the safest and most medically appropriate way possible." Dr. Jacky Oh. But y'all, it didn't stop there, because according to reports, Jacky suffered a painful death, and according to Azealia, it was all DC's fault. According to TMZ, Jacky had flown into Miami specifically to get the surgery done, and the procedure took place on May 30th. Everything seemed to be going smoothly at first, and she was prescribed a standard post-op regimen, an antibiotic to prevent infection, oxycodone for pain, and anti-nausea medication to keep her comfortable. Now, I'm not a doctor, but from what I know, these are all pretty typical drugs to be prescribed after plastic surgery. But things started to take a turn the very next day, on May 31st. Insiders revealed that Jacky began complaining of severe headache, so she went back to the hospital for a post-op checkup. TMZ reported that during the visit, she was instructed to stop taking the anti-nausea medication and switch to ibuprofen instead. What seemed like a routine adjustment ended up being a critical moment in the chain of events that followed. Things got worse by the evening of that same day, because Jacky began to feel her head was burning and began to have difficulty speaking, and Jacky was with her aunt, who called 911, but Jacky went unresponsive before they arrived, and she was pronounced dead at the hospital at 11 p.m. Now, all of this is a very sad, tragic situation, but Azealia isn't treating it as such. Word on the street is that she's calling on the cops to reopen the investigation into her passing, but to treat it as a murder investigation, with DC Young Fly as the #1 suspect. Because according to Azealia, him forcing Jacky to get the mommy makeover surgery is the reason she's passed. And knowing Azealia and how foul she is, this wouldn't be the last thing that we'll hear of this. It's only gonna get worse. But I gotta know what y'all feel about this. Is Azealia absolutely vile? And will DC finally respond to check Azealia and put her in her place? Well, keep an eye on this drama, because it's far from being over.